Hello again, brothers and sisters in Christ. Pastor Mike here. Welcome to Midweek Meditation. This Midweek Meditation is a little bit behind where I wanted to be. I was hoping that I would be out on Wednesday, but it is not due to the fact that A, I'm trying to rest my voice, and B, I've been trying to take care of a bunch of stuff I put off Easter and Holy Week happened. And so they needed to be put off to take care of that important thing. And so trying to do some catch up here and there. But here we are. We had a wonderful Easter. And that's actually where, besides kind of that explanation, I want to begin. A thank you. Everything, I think, has gone well. It's been busy. I mean, Easter had great attendance, in my opinion. Palm Sunday was good. Brenda and the Luther Leaguers did a great job. Council did a great job with Easter breakfast. Altar Guild was a big help with Good Friday. I even had a little guy be really clutch and step up to the plate on Maundy, Thursday for foot washing, and we appreciate that. But through the ups and downs, strikes and gutters, even, the weirdness of, I don't know if it's better when spring break lands around Easter and Holy Week or not, but I know even for a lot of folks, it was kind of spring break in Yorkville and then Holy Week and so on and so forth, and that brought some chaos. Through all those ups and downs, strikes and gutters, I think everything went really well, all things considered. And so a thank you to everybody that made it possible. Thank you to anybody that even visited, watched online, just was part of the community of Christ here at Emmanuel. A big thank you. Gratitude is often key, and especially after we have witnessed the resurrection of Christ and what that means for us, what it does to us. Hopefully, gratitude fills us when we realize what Christ has done for us. But Easter has gone well, and Easter is going well. This is your annual reminder from your pastor that Easter is not a day. It's funny how the Christian calendar that's been around for such a long time in the thought process of grounding in holy days. Because again, as we celebrate these things, they ground us, they transform us, they guide us, they grow us into what God is calling us to be. And you have these arcs, these cycles where, there's preparation of be it Advent or Lent, and they get us ready for this important thing that God does for us. It helps us keep our head on a swivel, both theologically and spiritually, so that we can really, really grasp that event of what God does for us. It doesn't change the event, but it really prepares us for something amazing. And then we have the important day, which begins the celebration. The 12 days of Christmas begin with Christmas. The 50 days of Easter begin with Easter Sunday. So we are celebrating the 50 days of Easter now. So it is not over. It is just beginning in many and various ways. And there will be numerous texts of after resurrection appearances, important texts that really, before he died and rose again, Christ wanted to shed wisdom on what was to take place and becomes a tool for us to help understand what the resurrection means for us, what it does to us. It's key. We'll also have wonderful things like the Ascension, Holy Trinity, Pentecost, and then we'll get into Big Green this summer. But the main reminder is we are celebrating the resurrection still. We are resurrection people, and it is important that we take the time to really, really celebrate what he has done for us through Friday and through Sunday. It's important. It's a good season. And so the first real resurrection text that we get, besides the resurrection itself, is always the same on the second Sunday in Easter of Easter. I always get those flipped. There's probably somebody out there that's like, no, Pastor, it's this genitive. So be it. But it's this text of doubting Thomas. It always is. Doesn't matter the year, doesn't matter what's going on. But if you follow kind of the liturgical calendar, we get this text, which is this very important, almost first resurrection appearance story. We get the women at the tomb. Some of the Gospels, we get, Peter and the boys, some of them running there after they hear. But then we get this important text in John where they are gathering on Sunday and dealing with their fear, their worry, their struggle, all those pieces. And Jesus busts into that room as his resurrected self to see them, to guide them, and to care for them. But the problem is that Thomas misses out. And that's a lot of the sermonic reality I try to get to. Because Thomas struggles with it, and he gets the moniker Doubting Thomas. He really struggles with what is going on here. I wasn't with the guys. I missed it. And there's a lot going on. It's always been my pet peeve, and you'll hear this on Sunday, and you've probably heard it before, that everybody kind of gets down on Thomas. For many modern and current Christians, man, we've been doing this story. We know the story. It's drilled into us at the foundation of our faith, man, that, yeah, he rose again. Thomas was one of the 12, one of the ones that was there, and it is too good to be true. I give him a lot of grace. But above all, he really helps us understand the dynamic of when we are struggling, how does God deal with us? But before we get into that, because that's Sunday, and I really like talking about that, because all Christians will struggle at some point with God, with faith, with life, with all those things. It even just goes beyond doubt. It goes with, I'm not in a good spot, boss, and I don't even want to give in to hope. I keep talking about it. But we often don't talk about Thomas beyond this. And one of the great texts that we had earlier, and I didn't hit it much, was the raising of Lazarus. Hopefully you all remember that story, where Jesus hangs back with the apostles after he gets word that Lazarus is sick and tells them, he's just going to be sleeping. And they're like, really? It sounds worse than sleep. He's like, no, guys, it's a metaphor. Get with the program. It's a metaphor for death. But we really focus on the amazing story of, Mary and Martha and their struggle. If you were here, he wouldn't have died. Him bringing Lazarus from the dead. I mean, even I think it's important, and even the author of the Gospel of John really raises up that, Lazarus stank to high heaven. I mean, he was right, man. He was dead. I mean, he wasn't just playing hide and seek in the mountains, man. Lazarus was dead as disco. And Jesus did something amazing there. But even before they leave, there is this interesting subtext amongst the apostles that heading that direction ain't good. Because the powers that be, Pharisees, Sadducees, the whole folks that were getting pretty riled up at the good news of Jesus Christ, were out looking for him. And Thomas has this amazing line where, as they're kind of hemming and hawing, are we going to go with him? Thomas turns to the boys and says, let us go die with him. Which is interesting, because as we talk about doubt, I don't think doubt is the biggest issue with Thomas. I think it was a broken heart and a struggle. I mean, the guy was literally ride or die. He was. He turned to the other guys, Peter, James, John, sons of Zebedee. Let's go. We're going with him, because if they're going to kill him, we're going to die with him. Maybe guilt was part of it too, because he didn't die when his boss died. I don't know, but there's a lot going on with Thomas. And that is the gift of Scripture to us, is that when we are having struggles, good times, bad times, blessings, curses, the whole shebang, Scripture is a lens for us to help understand what God is doing, what it means for us, how we can grow out of it, how we can continue to be more faithful. And so I always enjoy this text because it gives us an opportunity to really meditate, how do we handle our struggles? And how does God handle our struggles? Because sometimes it is us misunderstanding our struggles and misunderstanding God in our struggles that's the larger issue than the struggle itself. We are very good at making the struggle not the real issue, but something else. Well, hopefully this is some grist for the mill, things to think about, have in the back of your head when we talk about Thomas on Sunday and what the resurrected Christ does to and for that apostle. Well, blessings, brothers and sisters in Christ. Hopefully your Easter celebration was good, or if you were able to make it with family or not. However it ended up, I hope it was good and that the presence of the living Lord was able to really be present with you on that high feast day. Well, blessings, brothers and sisters of Christ. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.